today we're going to talk about a Hoyer lift or a lift system. And there's plenty of different devices. We're using a Hoyer lift. These are to take the burden off of family and caregivers. So they're used in the hospital or in SNFs or long-term care facilities or at home. Patients do have these at home who are dependent care for lifting, such as a high-level spinal cord patient, maybe advanced MS, advanced ALS. They are weight limited. Every product is a little bit different. This is the Reliant 450. You'll see it during the video. 450 pounds they're probably rated to. It's probably rated a little bit higher. You can have, this is electric, but you can have manual ones. So you manually open and close the feet, and then you would do a hand crank or a pump to lift it up. It'll have a hydraulic. And the parts of it, obviously, here's the arm. Here are the swing arm where you hook the cords from the sling. And there's a variety of slings on the market, so it kind of depends on which one you get, which one you're working with. And then this is, since it's electric, I have the ability to bring the electronics up and down. Maybe. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. Right, so I can bring it down to the patient, and then when I hook him up and get him up, I can bring it on back up. Lift him up and take him to the toilet, take him to a shower chair, take him to a wheelchair, move him throughout the house if someone's at home. There's a variety of things that we can do. So if we come over here, sometimes it's manual, sometimes it is, but this is to kind of, so I can have a wide, so I can get around different things, like maybe a power chair, or get under a bed, or get in and out of a bathroom. So that's, sometimes it's power, sometimes it's manual like that. This particular one, the electronic units, you have to remember to plug them in. So you want to make sure that you get one that has a full battery. And we'll go over the mechanics of it, but we'll leave it when you're at a facility to figure out what all the battery and what all the stop buttons and what the emergency pieces are, because every piece of equipment is a little different. So this is, I think there's probably different names for it, but a U-shaped sling for obvious reasons. It's U-shaped. This is really great to use. A lot of patients use this who are power chair users, and this can be left underneath them, and then kind of the pieces and parts moved out of the way so it doesn't get in their way of doing things during the day when they're in their chair. And it also can be great for getting the patients to and from the toilet. There are full-length one-piece slings as well, but we're not using that device, that Hoyer, today, but the principles are the same. So we're going to start with log rolling our patient to get this underneath. Do I have a flash? And yes, please. Thank you. What we're going to do is roll this so that we can roll it and get it under him. If you could roll Hal towards you, please. Mm-hmm. Great. And I'm going to make sure that the top of the U is right by his tailbone. And then, great. Okay, Hal, you're going to roll over a big lump. Sorry about that. Come on towards me, and then your partner is going to bring the rest out. Excellent. Whoop. There we go. All righty. And then we're going to bring these up. Whoop, I got myself in the nose. And here. Let's get his hand out there. If we could, we would have the client bring their arms across their chest, but he's not that flexible. We're going to do a supine slide. Normally we would have a transfer board. We don't want to have one today. So what you would do is I would roll, and my helpers would put the supine slide, it looks like a big surfboard, and put him down and get him on the board. And then on the count of 3, what we would do is we'd slide over to the bed. You want to be level or go a little bit high to low. That's the easiest. Going downhill is always easier. So on the count of 3, Hal, we're going over to the gurney. 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
All right.
Let's move this on.
That was good, guys.
Yeah, this is smooth.
So we're going to make sure brakes are locked. Alrighty. So now we're going to get the Hoyer lift in and underneath. So we want this about mid-chest, roughly, and start with the lowers. Typically, what we do is thread them through. So you're going to crisscross them, okay? And start with the Least, actually, let's start with the least, or the one closest to the patient. And then we're going to take this, the second one, the upper body, go to the green. They're not always color coded, but you should. And then there's one more here. As you've learned, get your side done first. Okay, and then we're going to make sure the brakes are secured, and hopefully our mannequin.
I'm the brake at this point.
There we go. And how we are just going to come up. So when you start to come up, I want you to look at your toes. And he should start to sit the higher we go as he starts to come up. So as long as his bottom has cleared, or your client's bottom has cleared the surface of what you're on, you don't have to go any higher. What we could do is have family or another person take his feet, right? And we can get him off the bed. There we go. And we can start bringing, obviously we have a mannequin, so it's a little more challenging. And then I can bring him this way. There are all sorts of straps and things on this brace that you can use to hold on to and help swing your patient. So what I would want to do is get him positioned so that he could get into his wheelchair. I could take him over to his wheelchair if the wheelchair was right next to the bed. And I could swing him up to his wheelchair and get him set here to go back down into a chair. And so when you're doing this, they're at a different angle. It doesn't matter how good you get them in the sling. So then you need to kind of help them sit up a bit. So then you can lower them into the chair. Or whatever surface you're sitting on, shower chair, whatever. Ideally, we'd want to have hands in the middle if they were more bendy. Oftentimes, patients will grab here. Sometimes facilities are okay with that. I tend to not like that because I'm afraid they may get their fingers caught in something or get into a strapping if it gets twisted. So I prefer to have them keep their hands at the center or at the middle. Although this is a solid bar, I might not want that kind of help. So that's where best place for hands. Remember, the surface you're coming, you have to be higher. You don't want to just barely graze the surface because you could cause skin tears for people. And if they don't have great sensation, oh, I'm not high enough, right? So I want to make sure that I'm high enough that I'm not going to do any shearing. You've got to be careful of skin. And let's make sure. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to secure the brakes on this thing.
Doing great, Hal.
You ready to get back to bed, Hal? Going down. You feel the bed? There you go. You're still breathing. That's good. Yeah, get a little tremor there. All righty. All righty. And you just need to go down far enough to take the tension off. Alrighty, and I'm going to raise it up and then take it off of him. Excellent. Alrighty, so if you just roll it up, I'll roll it towards me. It's too bad this gurney doesn't. There you go. Alrighty, roll the other way, buddy. Alrighty.